Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another episode of The Cautious Trader. I've been away for a while because I had to remove my wisdom tooth, all four of them, and it was pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie. But here we are, and we are at a very interesting crossroads actually, because we have seen what seems to be the beginning of the end for the massive rally of Bitcoin. And of course, the reason I'm saying this is because we have seen a massive drop off, almost 25% in the past 11 days, that Bitcoin has experienced from its all time high of $64,000. Now, what seems to be happening is there's been a little bit of a bubble pop situation. This is, of course, to no surprise because for the longest time we have been seeing higher highs and higher lows, but the RSI has been declining, and this has created a divergence scenario. So essentially, what has happened is our price has been going higher while our volume and the strength of that move to the upside has been declining. Now, what's going to be happening? What's going to be next for Bitcoin? Well, it's honestly anyone's guess. There's probably going to be a uh, dead cat bounce, as they say. It's gonna probably take Bitcoin up to around the $55,000 area before heading back lower, if in fact this is going to be the beginning of the end. Um, the reason I'm saying this could be the beginning of the end, well, it's for a couple reasons. First off, is because on the daily chart, we're actually seeing that Bitcoin price has broken out and downwards from the EMA ribbons that we had in this area that I'm pointing at right now. If you look, this area of resistance that I'm drawing right now, this was broken beautifully by Bitcoin. There was slight resistance in this area, and then down we went. Now, is this going to be uh, causing any sort of concern for us? Personally, I'm quite glad to see this happening because it allows people to get into Bitcoin at lower prices. I think we will see this go down to 44,000, but that could just be my personal bias against price of Bitcoin right now. If we actually look at a Fibonacci retracement here from the lows of Bitcoin back in February 28th up to its highs, we are seeing that Bitcoin right now is sitting at the 70.78 level, which is a area of significant support. But seeing how it just broke right through the 0.68 level, or the 0.618 level, I think we could actually see it go even lower. And if it does go lower, then the next area of support is the 43,600 level that I've drawn here. Maybe even at 45, 4450, something like that. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much where Bitcoin's standing right now. I would be interested to see if and when Bitcoin does make a bounce, if it's gonna attempt to get back above this EMA ribbon, or if the EMA ribbon will turn into a resistance and will actually cause Bitcoin to head lower. If we look at the chart of Bitcoin historically, let me go back a little bit. We do see that actually when Bitcoin breaks out of this ribbon, the ribbon provides slight amount of resistance, and usually Bitcoin heads even further lower. And now it is important to find something that's quite similar to what we are seeing right now. And perhaps the most similar case would be around this area, where Bitcoin again broke into the ribbon. But even here, it didn't quite manage to close below it significantly. It promptly bounced back up and traded alongside the ribbon for a while before breaking down below it and heading even lower. I think the best case scenario to look at here is probably the all time high we experienced back in 2017. And in 2017, once Bitcoin broke below the EMA ribbon, the EMA ribbon turned into a significant area of resistance every single time. And Bitcoin really didn't ever manage to break above it with a healthy uh, amount of force. And it just kept getting lower and lower until the EMA ribbon uh, became constricted and provided a beautiful resistance line, which Bitcoin again reacted to and head all the way to 3,500. Do I think such a scenario will play out exactly like that? It is hard to say, knowing that obviously the market is much bigger, there is more money in the market, but we shall not forget that the money that's in the market is actually new money. It's people that have not experienced these massive fluctuations. And if and when these guys panic, well, we're going to see this drop all the way perhaps to even the 35,000 level. I know it's insane to even think that $35,000 is a low price, but the so is the case, and Bitcoins could beautifully see a 50% drop, and people would absolutely lose their minds. A lot of people have not experienced such amount of drops, and if and when it does happen, I think a lot of people will be caught off guard. Before I end the session today, I just wanted to go on TradingView, see what has been posted in the ideas section. I didn't find anything of uh, quite a lot of importance, really, but something I did want to mention was about Dogecoin. A lot of activity has been going on Dogecoin, and if I show you the price of Doge compared to Bitcoin, you can see that it sort of acted as a early sign that something bad is about to happen. And of course, we can see on this chart, the 4 hour chart of Dogecoin, that yes, in fact, originally it made the top for 750 satoshis. I think that's how you say it, Doge to BTC, and then essentially it halved in value in the span of 3 4 days. And that's quite ridiculous in my opinion, but that's the nature of these bubbles. Bubbles are called bubbles for a reason, and it's because you see these massive rises in them followed by significant losses. And I'm also guilty of getting into these uh, bubble pop cycles. Personally, I bought into Doge when it was at, I think, around 40 cents Canadian. And having realized what a stupid idea that was, I set a pending order to sell most of it uh, at like 48 cents. And it did reach that, thankfully. And I sold most of my Doge position. But again, the FOMO is real. People do feel it. And when push comes to shove, a lot of people fold. And when they do, that's when we see these massive bubble pops. Just imagine you bought into Dogecoin around these levels, and now you're almost 60%, 50% down. That's insane. This is what gambling looks like in the markets. And of course, I do not wish this upon anyone. Um, and people have to realize that the money they're putting in here is basically money they're gambling with. And if they're not okay with that, then they should stay away from it. With that said, this has been it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully, I catch you quite soon. I have a couple ideas. One is going to be discussing the new Canadian budget that has come into effect, discussing that, discussing what's in it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm also looking at presenting a video on taxes, especially how to go about filing your taxes with cryptocurrency if you live in Canada, and that's quite important as well. Anyways, thank you for listening to me, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.